Good, be live, ready? This meeting is called to order. It is now 7 p.m. on November 14th, 2023. Councilman Hancock to give our opening prayer.
Let us pray. God of mercy and justice, such a blessing to be gathered here tonight to serve and listen to the people of Pageland. Help us to understand what a privilege governing is, so that we never take this whole process for granted. Give us guidance as we deal with each item on the agenda. Help us to be what you want us to be, both now and in our future. Continue to bless us all. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have a copy of tonight's agenda. Are there any changes that need to be made at this time? Hearing none, need a motion to approve. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing all in favor, raise your right hand. And next on the agenda is the workshop with the beautification of the garden club. I guess we can open the floor up now for discussion with representatives from the garden club and beautification. Who wants to lead off tonight?
I'm so sorry, I was passing out papers.
Are you good?
I do have one update from the last time we've met with them. I've reached out to DOT. I have not gotten approvals back on being able to clear out one of those flower beds yet, but I have sent off a letter to them waiting to hear approvals back on that.
So from the beautification committee, we actually just completed our meeting for this month and narrowed down what we are proposing for banners. We are still waiting for a banner from our designer for the Watermelon Festival, so we don't have that one yet. We've got an idea, we just got some copies here. Actually, I only have 2 copies, I think. Of what we were thinking for the Pageland banner. I don't know if I got both of my other ones, but I'll just pass this up here. So what we're looking at is maybe the second one. This is like our rough idea. But the feedback that we had in our meeting today is that the background was a little dark. So we actually want them to go back and lighten the background a little bit, making sure that we're not losing sight of, you know, the words and things like that. But that's what we're thinking about for the banner for Pageland.
Which one?
This one right here in the middle, where my fingernails are. That's what we're thinking about. So we'll make some modifications, have some modifications come back from the designer on that, and then we'll officially submit it.
Now, how long would they hang? I mean, do they hang 2 months and then you change them? What's the normal?
If we have enough to change them throughout the year, you could probably do it once a quarter, or you could do them seasonally, you know, it just depends on.
Yeah, so the other thing that we have is for fall and spring. So it probably wouldn't be specifically seasonally, because we'd actually end up with 5 banners, or including the Christmas holiday decorations. We had 5 things to hang, so not exactly quarterly, but what we're thinking about is for spring, this dual set down here. But we are asking them to make some changes so that the flowers might be more this yellow color opposed to just being the red and the blue. And then for
Well,
fall.
let's say the red and the blue are the high school color.
And then for fall, we went with the oak leaves, since that's a lot of the trees that we have here. So it'll be this dual banner here that we're thinking for fall. With no modifications, not expecting any modifications to that one. So that's what we're thinking so far for the banners. Once again, we don't have the banner yet for the Watermelon Festival. So for the fall banners, just for everybody back here, we're looking at these 2 here. is what it will look like. So it's a dual hanging banner. On one side will be this one, and on the other side of the pole would be that one. And then for spring, this one down here.
And we're gonna also have them a little bit longer, larger than the ones that, like the pineapple one that we've had.
Right, so we need to find out what size our poles are, because the company recommends the size of the banner that you purchase based on the pole size. And so following that guideline, we know that our signs won't be too small based upon their guidelines that they have here. So once we find out what those pole sizes are, then we'll be able to figure out what size banners we need and what that price looks like.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a piece of paper this size.
Right. Exactly, we don't want, what's that say?
Yeah.
You gotta get out the car to
It's an
look at it.
advertisement for an eye doctor.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that we looked at today was to add to our Christmas decorations for next year. And so we are, the picture on the catalog looks better, so I was trying to pull that picture here instead. We wanted to add a skyline, so some skyline wreaths across, I'll just show this one since I can't find it. So this is what we're looking at to kind of coincide with the wreaths that we already have. I heard that that's how it was a long time ago.
Back when I was young, back
Yep.
in the 70s, that's the way it was.
Yep, so this is what we're proposing, or we will be proposing. We just need to get some additional details surrounding price and things like that.
Now, what do those attach to?
In this picture, it looks like they're actually attached to the buildings. But I'm not quite sure. There's no information in the catalog as to those parameters, so we'll have to get that additional information as to what that is. But in the picture, it looks like it's attached to the buildings.
I think like Hartsville and some other places, they've gotten like 4x4 metal posts and anchored them to the sidewalk. And so you're not attaching themselves to the facade of the building.
Okay.
It's actually, you have
That's what I was
to,
saying, because you probably have to get permission from the building
Yeah, you do.
owner
Right.
and all that.
Right.
if you do any damage to it, then it can just, that could be a chain snowball effect of.
And then the other thing we talked about was making sure that they are tall enough so that all of the trucks can pass through. So we want to make sure that we get those taller. But those are the updates that we have for the beautification.
One question, how far are you going to extend those?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
The area you're gonna put those in? How far, east
So-
or west, north, south, how far? I
We
mean,
had
far?
not decided, one of the things that we talked about in the last meeting was being able to get an area map. And so we were hoping to be able to see the map and see where the poles were, and then from there be able to gauge what we needed to do. And then we can also kind of take a reference from what's happening as well with the holiday decorations. But we won't know how many banners we'll need or anything like that until we actually see what the space looks like.
I'm hoping that you might be able to put something on the 207 going towards school, middle school, on 601, I mean, 207, and the lit to, on the street, in 207.
Yes.
Stretch all the way out to the elementary school, all the way to Petersburg, and all the way to the bypass. That'd be nice, so.
Yeah,
We
I
should get
agree.
some on the bypass, because that's a lot of people see that as patient when they come through.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, that's
Oh,
true.
yes. Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Garden Club.
Is that everything for beautification?
Yes. ma'am.
Yes.
We're not gonna talk about pots or trees or anything like that?
I think Garden Club will start
Mhm.
with discussion.
Huh?
I said Garden Club would have.
That's what I came for.
Yeah. Garden Club was
The
on
garden
that.
club was talking about the pots and trees, that wasn't
Yeah.
beautification.
That's right.
Thank you.
Ms. Gill, we'll let you lead it off on the pot,
Pardon?
we'll let you lead it off on the pots of trees if,
No, I'm not in charge of that. I was just interested to find out if we were gonna put some beautiful trees on the streets, because I know Jason and I wanted them. And the pots, we've submitted some ideas and I hadn't seen anything on them, so
I
that
think-
was why I was asking about that.
There are some new pots that have been planted downtown. So those are already there, some additional pots.
We're waiting, as far as the trees are concerned, we're waiting for the information from Chuck.
Okay.
And he's not, I told you, he's off with his mother.
Mhm.
But I think we've got all the pots, we got like one pot, I know, getting it planted. But the ones that we have out, we got all those planted. Except that one at Knick-Knack. I understand that one was almost gone
It
today.
was almost, I was behind him. I was at the stop light and truck was turning to the left and probably missed the pot. I thought it was a goner.
Oh, you wouldn't believe how many times they got hit that
I
light
lost
bulb right there.
3 on those corners when we passed it.
I want to ask a question.
Sure.
The yellow square that's on the corner that you painted, had painted when the street was redone, is that a parking place or is that a legal parking place? You see so many times, and you're talking about, Robin, I was sitting today at the stoplight, and when people come in from Monroe and make that left-hand turn to go towards Chesterfield, I mean, it's iffy who's gonna get hit first, that car that's parked in that yellow square there, or the person that's sitting at the stoplight. And I just have had a question about that. Was that marked off to keep people away from the corner?
Are you talking about heading south on Pearl and making the left coming this way?
Well, you got it on every corner.
It's right there in front of the Knick-Knack shop, there's one of them that she's talking about.
I don't think they're supposed to be parking.
It's not a
Yeah,
parking,
yeah.
it's not.
If it's marked yellow, it should be parking
Yeah,
there.
actually, no parking.
Do what now?
If it's marked yellow, they should not be parking there.
Well, it's happening all the time, and we're gonna have a wreck there,
That's
right
true.
in front of Knick-Knack.
That's where Mackie
Especially.
Nicholson got hit by a car
You should
right
do a
there.
Barney Fife,
Oh, yeah.
Citizens Arena.
And also there at Sportsman, you know, people are parking there in that the place that's marked off. And I thought a trailer truck had hit a pickup there the other day, but they said he managed to get by and not hit it. But that's something that needs some attention.
It does.
Yep.
We've done what we can do to resolve that. We passed the ordinance and had DOT put signs out here on the north side of town saying that that's not no through trucks. And DOT was supposed to have submitted some information to Google, because they're the ones that control a lot of the mapping. And that could take a year, could take 10 years according to them, so. But I've seen a lot of Walmart trucks that used to come through town are now going bypass or they go A-Ranch Street. So,
A good many of them leaving Cambraco's coming my way too now, out that street.
right.
Mhm.
But yeah, these corners in town they're bad dangerous.
DOT said the turn radius was too tight right there at Sportsman's Paradise. That should have never been a turn for trucks to even come through town after the bypass was built.
No, it is.
And then when the bypass was built, the turn radius was too tight for that. That's why they rounded it off a little more several years ago, because it was too tight for trucks. So,
Can they not put a no turn sign? Because then they.
There is a no turn sign.
straight, And it'll go out right after the bypass.
I don't know if there's a no turn sign.
There's no turn signs all downtown.
I've seen the one that says a no through
But what
trucks.
about the local trucks?
local trucks can still come in the county for local
That's what I'm
delivery, like
saying,
the
though, if
Tucker.
they don't make that turn, just make them go straight on through town to the bypass.
Well,
Just cut out that
Yeah.
turn.
speaking of a U-turn, there's a lot of people now using downtown the U-turn, local people. It's stores, they pull into the store, go and get what they want, and they take a circle around from the jewelry store and head back down this way, wherever they gotta go, they turn around within that one block of town. I've seen that happen 3 times in the last 3 weeks. the sign is on all sides, all four sides, no U-turn. So people go and get the step out the store, come in, get in, nothing coming, they just circle around and go back to the lot.
Getting back to the trees, I think there was an ask for a map of all the spaces.
They had,
Has that been?
talked about somebody flying it with the drone.
Yeah, that was, did you find your drone?
I did. I've not got to it.
Okay.
I can Google it.
I forgot about it till tonight.
Where you
Put
want
it up right now?
Where you want to go
Flop it right
from,
now.
from South Cedar to South Sycamore, and how far on Pearl?
Somebody else answer that
I was
question. I
thinking
don't
like
have the
from
streets. in my head.
Godfrey to
Maynard.
Maynard.
Godfrey,
Then
Maynard, and
Maple to Sycamore, just drive in like a square right there.
Maple, Sycamore.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Maple.
go all the way down to the, Polly's.
Cedar.
Yeah.
I guess you could go all the way down to Cedar, because we need to incorporate that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, however, when we talked about, where we want to make sure we see the banners or the Christmas lights, I like to make sure that that area is in there. So we talked about going down to the bypass, want to make sure that that's included on that side as well, or down towards that way.
So from South Sycamore all the way to the bypass.
South Sycamore.
Well, we're talking two different purposes here. So Christmas decorations would be bypassed to 207.
Right,
And then trees would be Sycamore to Cedar.
right. So I was thinking one map that we
Right,
can
one map.
use to see everything. We want to be able to see poles for Christmas decorations. And then I think the trees, the beautification, or the garden club wants to be able to see for trees.
And Andy, once you get those together, you can use Microsoft Ice and pull it all together, and if you can get it to me, we can probably print a map here, because I've got a plotter here.
You might have a picture already. Not sure.
I have a question, Bruce. Have we done any further research on the viability of our irrigation system? I think the irrigation system is going to be a game changer for anything we pursue as far as planning in the spaces we have uptown.
Much like I said, whenever we first started the conversation, I haven't gotten approval back from DOT to get into those planners yet, so I have no idea what's in there until I get approval to get in there and find out.
So they have to approve.
For us to dig out those planners to see what it looks like on the inside there, yeah, I'm waiting on their approval.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know.
We haven't done it yet, have you?
No, I've sent a letter, I haven't received a response from DOT.
Will it be done by the spring?
Whenever I get a response from DOT, we will.
That may require additional follow-up with DOT, but yeah, once we identify what's in the ground there, that's, but I'm like you, it's big, I think that'd be a game changer for, you know, you could be wasting a lot of money on trees and flowers and everything else if you don't have proper water. And what's water with a tree without having lights to uplight it, so, or if you're gonna do, you know, wrap it with lights during Christmas, you know, there's a lot of things you can do with this, so. I know he don't like me talking about that because it costs me every time I talk about it, it costs money, so. Yeah, that's right.
I noticed in a lot of the towns, our square is tiny. And Cheraw and the other towns I've been looking at, the squares are bigger where we put our trees.
They are.
I was looking today in Charlotte, our squares are bigger than theirs. They've got trees that big around they got these grates around them, they're growing over the grates. But their holes in the ground are smaller than what we have up there. And they got live oaks, I think, downtown. But I did notice that one of them had I think there's irrigation, there's gotta be irrigation over there, because I saw a little tube.
You have anything else you want to cover with discussions regarding beautification and garden club?
So as far as a long-range plan, is that something that you're waiting on the garden club to do? Or is that something we need to meet together to work on, or, because that was one of the things mentioned, was the long range, what do we want to do? Instead of piecemealing it, let's have a big master plan.
But I think that was what Chuck was gonna try to connect with that arborist, so that way, instead of us picking and choosing what flowers and trees we like the best, we actually had some professional, professional opinions on those as well. But I think I'm definitely in agreement with you. We need to sit down and create a plan, and put it all together.
Do y'all want to do, this is just a question, do y'all want to do that between the garden club and beautification, or do y'all want to have one or two people from council, one or two people from beautification, one or two people from garden club, and say, and then,
Present it to all of them
Yeah,
at once,
that's
type
right.
of thing.
Yeah,
So you
I think having a couple people from each committee.
we can make that happen. So, we can appoint two people, we'll put on one tonight, but we can appoint our next council meeting, appoint two people.
I'm sorry, I don't think the men.
What's that?
The men, they might not, I mean, I'm sure you might be interested, but most of them are just like, okay, whatever. I mean, I don't know, I'm just, most men aren't into flowers, they're just like, honey, you do whatever.
That's right.
Whatever you think looks good.
That's all I want is something showy, something to pop out, not something that's just gonna be background, something to pop out, cause our town needs it.
Oh, yeah. We were in, my wife and I went to Southport 2 weeks ago and noticed they've got live oaks downtown, but they have their live oaks maintained. They're almost like in a dome shape. They're not taller than the buildings, and they're all groomed. I asked one of the folks there that lives in the area, and they said they take care of those things every year. They have somebody come in and shake them up every year, and it looks so good. And they got lights downtown on their trees.
That'd be pretty.
Beautiful. It's beautiful downtown.
Where's it?
Southport.
Shane, write that down so you can get this done.
Well, even, and I heard it on the news today, actually, that, or maybe it was last night, that they were doing some more planting somewhere, but they were saying that Charlotte, North Carolina would, 50% of the town or city would have tree canopy. That was their goal, was to get to 50% tree canopy, and they were gonna meet that this year in the city of Charlotte.
That's what Knox White, he's mayor of Greenville. That's something they wanted to do downtown Greenville, was to have all downtown area covered. You go downtown Greenville, and there's very few spots that are not covered by trees. So it's beautiful, beautiful downtown Greenville. So, well, I guess as a follow-up, so I guess at the next council meeting, we'll appoint two people to serve on a joint committee with the garden club and beautification, and then begin putting together some kind of master plan. And maybe by then, we can have some more idea on trees and start piecing this together. Anybody have questions? Any other questions? Thank y'all for the input we got so far, and thank you for beautification for the banner ideas that you guys have started vetting. And maybe in December, we'll have a committee together, we can start the master plan and get this thing knocked out. Thank y'all for coming, appreciate
When
it.
do we want to touch base
Thank
again?
you.
Ma'am?
When do we want to meet again?
Actually, well, first, if we appoint two members of council, then, those two individuals will meet with whoever the group is that's on the beautification and garden club, and then a recommendation will come then to the full council.
Okay.
So, unless y'all want to have another workshop like this again in December, and I'm fine with that.
I think as soon as Chuck gets that information he was going to get, or have the guy to come over here, then I think we're gonna have something to start with.
And
then go
I
forward.
think a map would help too, we kind of have something to.
Right, I think those are the two pieces that we're missing,
That's
that we're
right.
missing. So, I mean, if we could have that, then I think another, if it's available, then I think another meeting like this would be
Sure,
good.
sure.
If we don't have that yet, then I don't think we would need to do it.
When's your next beautification meeting? December?
December 11th. December,
Maybe, let me look at the calendar. Maybe we can tentatively put in the 11th. You want to put down as a tentative meet date with the 11th or 12th? You want to do it right after your beautification meeting, or how do you want to handle that?
That's fine, we could do it that
Since
way.
you're already out for the evening,
Mhm.
we can tentatively say something, schedule something for the 11th. Can we do with that? Yeah, if nothing changes, then we can put some on the calendar.
You're talking about the committee meeting.
Yeah, well, just like a workshop,
Okay.
yeah, so we have one more time to meet, and we'll already have somebody two people picked out to serve from council to begin the master plan for the downtown area.
What time?
7 o'clock, fine with you?
That's fine.
And maybe by then you'll have the letter back or answer back from DOT.
That's right. Once we get that and find out what's under the ground, we can begin that process for irrigation,
Yeah.
cost, and electricity. So,
Do y'all need us for the rest?
no, ma'am.
We gotta all leave, it's gonna be just y'all, it looks
That's fine. We
like.
still have your Facebook
We
license.
appreciate y'all being
I'll
here.
stay if y'all need us.
Yeah, all right.
Just a second.
Thank you for everything, y'all.
Thank you.
Started at 6 and just do an hour. just like
So
we did.
before we move on to the next item, she's working on the parade for, December the 9th. She's trying to figure out where you want to be in the parade. I told her that y'all don't typically like, leading up the rear, y'all typically like being at the front of the
Yeah,
parade.
behind the horses.
Is that consensus of council already?
Anywhere above number 3.
Anywhere above number 3?
Okay, I can make that happen.
All right.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you. All right, so we got that taken care of. So next on our agenda is the police replacement vehicle. Slide, kind of give us a background on this request.
Certainly. The police had a low-speed accident in one of the patrol cars and hit a pothole, and it deployed the airbags, and the insurance company totaled the vehicle in the amount of, what was it, $8,100 or $8,300, somewhere around through there. And so what they're asking is they've talked with the sheriff over in Lancaster, and it's tentative right now until their council approves selling it, but there's a vehicle over there, it's a Ford Explorer. It already has the equipment that they would need for the K-9 that they're getting. It's got the hot dog package on it, it's got the cage in it, all that stuff is already equipped in it, and they're looking to sell it for about $5,000. It's a little bit higher on the mileage side, but it's still supposedly in pretty good shape. So they're requesting to be able to purchase that vehicle with those funds and then use the remainder of the funds to be able to stripe it out.
Where's our K9 guy live?
Our K-9 guy, I don't actually know. I
You don't know
could,
where he lives?
no, sir.
He's supposed to be in training in the K-9 now.
They
I don't think they've gotten the dog.
haven't got the dog yet.
They haven't gotten the dog yet, they're still trying to finish raising the money, I think. For that.
Kelly, they've been in contact with,
They've been in contact, I think they went and picked one out, because we had to give them the money for it, $1,000 up front. I think they went and looked at some and picked one out or something.
Cause I know Chief Short said something about they match it up, like same personality and so that they mesh well. So I figure that's probably what they are still trying to do.
so in this conversation with Chief Short, whenever I was talking to him, the equipment, the hot dog package, which if something happens with the vehicle and it shuts off and the air stops, it lets the windows down in the vehicle to keep the dog from overheating. And then also the cage system in there, that's about $7,000 worth of equipment already in the vehicle, that town wouldn't have to buy. That's one of the reasons why he's kind of focused on this, because the vehicle's already equipped with those options.
Any questions, comments from council?
I hate that happened, but it kind of worked out to our benefit.
Yeah. If there's no questions or other comments, I need a motion to approve the police replacement vehicle request from the PD.
Motion.
Got a motion? Got a second. Any further discussion?
And just to throw this out there, that's contingent on Lancaster County's council approving us on that as well.
If that all gets approved, then we're following through on our part. So we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous. Next on the agenda is first reading of ordinance 495, regarding the sanitation rates. Mr. Sly.
All right, so, and this is gonna go into the next section of the agenda as well as the budget. So with the budget, to be able to come out to a balanced budget, which is what we have to do every year, one of the ways that we were able to do it without going up really high on the millage rate is sanitation. Currently, sanitation, which is your garbage pickup and your leaf and limb pickup, is running at a $300,000 deficit. To put that in perspective, we are collecting about $300,000 a year in garbage pickup fees. We're spending $600,000 in garbage pickup fees. We are at if we wanted to go up completely on it, it'd be an 85% increase, and that's not what I'm asking for here. I'm asking for us to do this slowly and go up gradually. At some point, 5-10 years down the road, we might catch up, but we need to catch up to be able to maintain those garbage services, and this is also going to help balance the budget. So what I've asked for here is a 21% increase. It increases the rollout containers to $17 a month from, they're currently $14 and they've been $14 from what I can gather for 8-10 years now.
Since we had those rollout carts, the blue carts we got it last time, we got an increase.
Yep. And to put that in perspective, out in the county, the other service providers in the county, they're paying $30 to $40 per month on garbage pickup. So we're still way lower than what what others around us are paying. And for the dumpster fees, we're looking to go up to $3.30 per cubic yard. I think we're at $2.85, I think is what we're currently at on the dumpsters per cubic yard. So I'm requesting council to approve this so that we can balance our budget. This here is one of the items that that will help us balance the budget.
Questions, comments from council? Excuse me. If there are any questions or comments, need a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 495 regarding the sanitation rates.
Well, I'll make a motion.
You got a motion?
Sure.
And a second. Any further discussion? Hearing all in favor, raise your right hand. Next on the agenda, first reading of ordinance 496, which is the budget ordinance. Mr. Sly.
All right, you have all received a copy of the budget ordinance. And for those of you who are used to the old ones, if you'd like an old one instead of the one that's more of a spreadsheet, I can provide you with one of those if you'd rather have one of those. So for the budget, we're requesting a 3 meal increase. It would have been much more without the garbage. And that 3 meal increase puts us on our our general fund at $3,580,700 is what the,
That's with the millage
is
increase.
that is with the millage increase. That, that is what we have listed in there is the admin approved section on the first page of the spreadsheet budget there. That is the total there at the bottom of that, that's the admin approved amount. And then if you'll look down here where it says 103 mills plus sanitation, gives you that revenue figure there, that, and those two match, which gives you a balanced budget on the general fund.
So basically, our budget looks about, never mind, scratch it out.
And I'll go on through the rest of them right quick and then, see if you have any questions. On the impact fees, what I've done with them is I've taken what we have to, actually, that's about 4 times what we have to date. But we've got more stuff coming in, so I've estimated it at $2,058,000 on impact fees, and we've estimated the income and the revenue being the exact same on the impact fees. So that's where we're at with that. Because we don't have good numbers. This is the first year we're doing this, so we're having to go off of an estimate.
So would this be in addition to the front page, or is it
Front page,
included in the front page?
front page is the 10 fund.
Okay.
Impact fees are the 15 fund.
Okay.
They're different, completely different fund numbers, yes. So the next line below, the impact fees is the grant fund account. You'll see here, there's, $1.2 million, listed on the 35 fund, which is the ARP funds. That's the funds that we still have, riding on the books from the ARP, money that we received. $1 million of that goes to, helping build the water tower out on Torrey Road that they're in construction on. The remaining $206,000 is divvied up, based on the way it was done earlier in the year, part of it being contingency, part of it fire truck, part of it, there was something else, but there's several different things it's broke out between. The $59,000 that you see just below that, that is the remainder of what is in the RIA grants, which is for that same water tower out there. Whenever they were building that, they got $1 million from town and $1 million from RIA to be able to build that water tower. And that other $2,000 there, that's some wrap-up stuff from the wastewater treatment plant, some outstanding checks. So we're riding this money on the books because there's just some outstanding checks that haven't been cleared. And so that one balances out at $1.268,644.14. If you'll flip on over to the next page, the water and sewer fund, it's gone up pretty significantly, but it had to because of rural water going up on us. So, but we've come out to $2,392,300, and we've got our revenue and got our expenses in line with the revenue there as well. And on recreation, we're coming at 300, and this is the hospitality account on Fund 60. We're looking at $379,500 for a total budget balance of $9,679,144.14.
Any questions, comments from council? Hearing none, need a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 496, which is the budget ordinance.
So,
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, in favor, raise your right hand. Next on the agenda is ordinance 497, the hospitality ordinance. This is first reading. Mr. Slack.
All right, with the hospitality ordinance, we always do a separate ordinance, just the expenses, and they are listed out here for you. it comes out to the $379,500, and this is how they're to be allocated out.
Any questions, comments from council? If there are no questions or comments, need a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 497.
Motion.
Got a motion? Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Next on the agenda is ordinance 498. It's the correction to the acres listed on ordinance 472. I'll let Mr. Sly provide a little background on that. This is the first reading. Mr. Sly.
All right, when we done ordinance 472, there was a mistake made, and ordinance 472, we done it in the amount of 1.43 acres for JLJ's property there off of Clark Street. This is gonna be First Street, that little section where he's building houses back there now. There was some mistakes made, and the amount of acreage was wrong on there. So 1.43 is what the original ordinance said. The intended area that we had outlined, which this survey here was done on November 14th of 22. Our first reading on this was November the 1st of 22. So we didn't have the exact acreage from the surveyor. The actual acreage there should be 2.45 acres, not the 1.43. And so we need to approve an ordinance to amend ordinance 472 to the correct acreage that is listed.
Any questions, comments from council? If there are none, need a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 498.
Motion.
Got a motion, who had a motion? You got a second?
Yeah, well,
So got a motion over here from Mr. Hancock, second from Mr. Hutto.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing all in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Next on our agenda is executive session for a personnel matter. Need a motion to go into executive session. Motion, second, all in favor, raise your right hand. We'll take about a 1 minute recess and go into executive session.
And then hit the end again.